What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the Nines. We have a new background and we have David, or get it right this way, David back with us again. So David, thank you so much. And how have you been doing since the Prague game?
Yeah, thanks for invitation. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Could be better, but it was good.
Yeah, I think a 0-0 result overall was probably the best result. Well, not the best result, probably the right result. No team really deserved to score that many opportunities. But I just thought
Yeah,
I'd get your thoughts on the entire game, on the Prague game at the home ground.
what I saw, I think Slavia could play really better because they can play better. There was not really much chances, which is a little surprising because our commentators say that all Leicester defense line was complete randomized. Like four players who play defend in Foxes were out, and it was just random players. Like first time they play together. It's true or not?
The back line of Amati.
Yeah,
Um,
backline.
Yeah, I don't think it was the first time. But again, it's the problem is we are suffering lots of injuries at the moment, so we
Mhm.
have to mix it up. And in terms of, we're going to play twice a week in Premier League and in this, we have to mix it up. And the amount of players we were missing for the game, including Ricardo, Castagna, James Justin, Fofana in
Mm.
terms of the back line, Daly Campbell, who was
I
really good. We didn't have,
yeah.
so again, it might have been. However, to say it's random, Brendan Rodgers always has a purpose for everything. So I think random's a bit too critical, in my opinion.
What if I remember right? What I saw, what I read on English newspaper nets and everything. They all say that Leicester could play, Foxes could play really better. Like it was not good game for them, but it's actually a little paradox because coach Jędrzej Typiszowski say that Leicester's not really get much chances in that match, but that one I think it was Barnes who goes on collar from the side. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was 1% chance to score. I
Yeah.
believe it if Vardy was on his place, it would be 1-0.
Maybe it's also Vardy's getting a little bit older, and what he's doing is, I think you've seen before, he's dragging other
Yeah.
people into the game. We were surprised with how strong we started the game, to be honest. So it looks like we're going to take it seriously. It'll be an interesting game on Thursday, what we're going to do again, because as we found out, Iheanacho, who's our second striker, didn't really come on and do anything. I think after a
Mm,
while, I don't know how it was from a Prague perspective, but Leicester played 45 minutes. Okay, we're going to try and attack. The other 45, we just laid off and let Prague come into the game. But I
yeah.
don't know if you figured that out on your end, because it wasn't a great game of football that second half. But even the first, I mean, Prague missed some
Yeah.
big chances, or a few players like Seema, and I
Just
forgot the other player was. They didn't make the right decision at the right time, and
yeah,
weren't good enough for
exactly.
a goal.
In a position when they can shot like they got really good position. They always pass like there was, and Jędrzej Typiszowski speaks about it, and they said that players have really big respect for the players and they're scared like first 20 minutes. But I think from I believe 70 minutes it was just from my point, from 70 minutes, Slavia was like, 0-0 is fine for us. We just don't go any further. We don't risk anything. And I think I'm a little disappointed from even for some players because Sima, Olainka, Kuchta, they can play so much better. And they play, it was really not their night. It
Mm-hmm.
was not really their match. But of course, it's 0-0 in second match. Anything can happen, especially on latest field.
Yes, definitely so. So I was going to say as well, it seems like we've got very similar opinions about our team in terms of both didn't play very well. I think I understand why, because we didn't have as much of a squad. We're going to have a few players back for this game that were missing, and I think Perez got injured, so he'll be away from that.
Uh,
Madison might not be available because he got an injury. They're going to have to see this weekend how well that
I,
goes. But I
I,
was going to go on to, we've got two of our right back and left back that are going to come in, Ricardo and Castagna, that are going to cause a lot of problems, and they're going to run at the team a lot more. And this will be both teams' opportunity to get through to the to get to the 16. So, do you think Prague will now go, right, we've got the draw at home, now let's go and win away at Leicester?
Well, it's from this point, it's really hard to say because I know that Slavia can really, when they have right day, they can defeat like anyone because I think they can motivate themselves for that match. But of course, it's not every time. I remember 2 years back when they played against Henk, it was also 0-0 at home, and we won 4-1 on their field. But this season it was Champions League against Midtjylland. It was also 0-0 at home, but we lost 2-1 in Midtjylland in Danish. So I don't know. It's very hard to say how that match is gonna end, how Slavia is gonna play, because from what I saw and how I look at them right now, I I don't know. I really can't say how that match gonna end because it's impossible. I think it's impossible because, and I think even Slavia's got some injuries right now after last match. We lost Alexander Bach, who probably will not be on the field because he's injured. Andre Linger also was injured really hard on the head, and he was like in hospital for some days. And even some more players are injured or really down with discipline. It's just really hard to say. Really hard to say.
Yeah, we'll have to see again because of a few players are out. So it does sound. I remember you saying last time a couple of your aging defenders have a few injuries as well. Are they out for this match as well?
Yeah. Just one thing I recognize from a first match. I think it was Soyutsu, or I don't know if I'm saying that name right. He was the best from Leicester, I think, because he defended really well. He didn't get much. I saw that Gupta or Sima never get chance against him. So from my point, he was one of the best from Foxes on that field, and I really believe he will be now again that important because I like him. He played really good, and I must admit I really don't know him that much before this match.
Yeah, I was actually going to be my next question as well because obviously we played at your ground and you said I think before they said Ndidi, Vardy, Madison, and Schmeichel I think it was apart from that, but
Yeah,
I think you've
exactly.
seen more of the team now. So obviously Sionchi was one person who you were impressed with. Was there anybody else that stood out to you as well?
I really like Barnes. He was from first half time. He was the most dangerous from Fox's team. He got 1% chance. He got more chances, and I really like Madison. I don't know how to say that. I like him. Madison, Barnes. I was little disappointed that Vardy didn't get really much into that game, but Slavia defended were like prepared on him. But there was one moment when almost he scored when Kolar ran against him, and our commentators say that Vardy was like shocked from what he was shocked by Kolar because he didn't expect him there. And I think he if he didn't get scared, he maybe get a score because I think Kolar went far than Vardy from the balloon. But I get why he got such high why your coach out. I don't know how to say it. He was like around 70 minutes he was
Substituted?
yeah exactly that word. Thank you. By
Yes.
that player I don't remember his name
Nacho.
by now. Yeah, exactly. And he was, I mean, on the field like 1 minute, and he could get the red card from that
Yeah,
from
yellow
that
card. I
fall.
was going to ask you about that as well because a lot of Leicester fans we were looking at that going, the officiating wasn't very good. It wasn't very consistent across the pitch, the refereeing, but also Slavia Prague players. There was a lot of talk before the match about, oh, we come to Prague, we're going to be a tough team. I don't know if this is normal, but even for Premier League teams, they were falling all over the place. They were going down very, very easily, and it was a bit disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah. For me also because there was some situation that they get it too much. They could, like I say, they could play really much better, and this was not that case. They coach coach Indikter Pešovský was happy with that 0-0 score, but not that game in that match, because he also said it was really slow. They always on the field when they doesn't need to. And from my point, it was just shame because they could play better with Leicester and more aggressive, more quick. They could show something, and I was disappointed from that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I think again we were disappointed on our end because even in the Premier League we don't see that much diving. In terms of going forward, I think
Yeah.
that obviously both have got a decent team. We've got certain players back for certain matches, which will be interesting. I think we've got Zed Castagno and Ricardo. Both of them are massively brilliant players and have amazing engines that will just run up and down the pitch. Being at home will be interesting, but I think both teams didn't really perform to their best. And overall,
Yeah.
I think we let you in a little bit. I think midfield wise, there wasn't a lot going on, but one player for us that really stood out was, I don't know if you noticed, Hamza, the guy with the big afro.
Yeah,
Hamza
yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah, yeah.
He runs on, and this is what we love about him, or I love especially, that he comes in and he's like, right, get off the ball. He's my ball, very aggressive. And I don't know if what you thought of his performance, because again, for me, he's probably my favorite player of Leicester City because you don't see that kind of aggression that more in football.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually scared because I know that Foxes are really good in when match is ending, like around 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 70 minutes. There's like they scored very much from these minutes, and I was like, maybe Leicester now will attack. Now they will score because I know they are great when match is getting over. And yeah, that guy was you speak about was good, and but I think even he could play better. But
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. But referee that was on the field was really on more our side than on your side. Or
Mhm.
like when I saw foul on one of Fox's player, and he was like, no foul, and then that same player just pushed some Slavia player, and he was like, oh, that's foul, and if you do that again, you get yellow. And I was like, why are you doing that? I feel referee was more on our side than on your side, and I think it should be neutral because it really hurts us more. I believe.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that because again, I don't want to come across as it's all they're all negative towards us because it's easy to play the victim, you know. But in this case,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that one player that really stood out to me was Seema and how big. I didn't realize he was coming against Luke Thomas, who's our young prospect, 19 years old, and he did marshal him well out of the game. However, the size of him, I'm surprised. Every time there was a corner or every time there was a set piece, I don't think Leicester were dealing with Slavia Prague properly. And it's something that we've mentioned, I think, before on the post match about Leicester can't deal with corners and set pieces. And just want to get your take because you're a very big and physical team, which is funny that you go over so much, which was ironic for us. But I think if you are, how good are Prague from corners? Because we didn't really turn up, but in the future, that I think that's a place that you could get a goal from because Leicester are not good at defending, as you could tell from set pieces.
Yeah. I on the start on match, Kudla were
Mhm.
in very good position. He could score, but he missed a ball. Sima can jump very high, and it's actually pretty amazing because just I believe 2 or 3 months back he was in second league and nobody knows about him. And
Mhm.
he was just one match in Slavia B team, and then was like, now you go in A team, you get your chance, and we're gonna see. And he just was in the first match, and how now he is all matches because he is best from the team right now
Mhm.
with Olenka and Gupta and even Lucas Perot who play in middle,
Mhm.
because it's actually amazing because all these players they are in their national team. Kudela, Kuchta, Perot, all of them are in Czech national team.
Mhm.
Olenka is playing for Nigerian national team. Sima will also play for Senegal national team. It's actually amazing because if you gonna look on Slavia team, all of them are in their national teams. There are no players who is not playing in national team for their countries. But I really believe that if we can defeat Foxes on in England, it gonna be from standard situation like corner or something like that. Because from what I saw, they are not really good in it. But again, Soyuchu when was one of the best when in every standard situation. He was always on the right position and always stop action from the start.
Yeah, he's actually one of our best players. If you saw him when we first got him, he was not very good. But the player he plays alongside, Johnny Evans, is like the captain, not in terms of the
Yeah.
game, but in terms of the way he leads that back line. He goes, right, I stay here, you stay with me, I'll tell you what to do. And if you go and watch the match live, you tell him all that, you hear him going, right, stay there, move, especially last season. This season, Soyuncu's picked up a bit more and go, okay, I know what I'm doing a little bit more. And yeah, I think Soyuncu is a great, great player. And he's one of the, like, for example, we sold Harry Maguire for 80 million, and other Man United fans are already saying we'll pay, we'll want, we've got the wrong person, we're supposed to get him. But it's he's a really, really good player. But in the middle of the pitch, I know indeed you've said before, but I think on that right hand side, I'm trying to think who there was. Mark Albrighton again had the opportunity, I think, in the first 10 or 15 minutes, but he missed the corner. But I
Yeah.
don't know if you, again, there is probably same with Prague. It's like a team of kind of homegrown players where they've all come into the team and they're all performing really, really well together. But I don't think for both of us, we really saw the best out of each team.
Yes, exactly. Because I don't know if it was just. I know that if Slavia starting home, they are little nervous. They are more nervous because they saying if we get a goal like in our net, it's really hard in the second match. So they're more focusing on defense than on offense. And I think in this match was also that case because if I don't remember Kuchta in any situation, man, any goal situation at all.
Mm-hmm.
So for Olenka and Sima, there was some situation on the start, like you said, they could end better, but they were scared and like I don't really want to shoot. I just pass and you do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was little disappointed from that because we can play much better, much better. But my question is because Slavia last two matches in our league was draw in a team from a bottom of from a bottom of our league,
Mm-hmm.
and we play worse on um, on enemy field, if I can say it like that, than on our field because then it's like they don't really lose points there
Mm-hmm.
in European League, in our league. But I don't know how if Leicester is better home or away. So is Leicester better home or away?
You'll be glad to hear in the Premier League we are one of the best, and away
Oh,
records at home we're not so good. We've lost the majority of the games we've lost have been at home, and we are getting better at it, and the team is building into it. However, I think our home form isn't as good. I think anybody can tell you that. However, I
I
think this will play more into our hands than it will into yours, because the last match we played at home was against Liverpool, which we won 3-1. I think it was a big
yeah.
result for us. So we will be looking forward to coming home and playing, because we will have, again, we've got Ricardo, who was probably one of the best right backs a year ago in the Premier League. He had a 9-month injury, which was horrible. Castagna, who's
Mm,
been a brilliant player, who will come back into team. And I think Jose Perez, who I think got injured in that game and went off, might be play. He was not going to be playing for the team. Madison won't be playing. So you're looking the likes of you'll be pretty much the going forward will be the same team, but probably the left wing probably Castagno instead of Justin, and then the right side instead of Amate, who's he's okay, he's a good player, but he doesn't get forward enough. He more is just like I stay at the back. I'm going to defend. Again,
yeah.
it might have been a tactical change. Just go, okay, we'll play three, so we keep your three against your three. Um, he's not getting forward as much, but Ricardo will, and he will take people on. And I think that was what was missing. Not enough. I think, as you were saying, Barnes was taking people on at times, but there wasn't too many. It wasn't a great game of football, and probably the 0-0 probably showed that probably the most.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It was not a really good game, and I expect this second game will be much, much better, especially on English field, because our coach Stepishevsky say that it's humanity against crime to just walk on that field, because fields in our league are not really that good, because in the winter much of teams don't really get much money to take care of that field. Only Slavia, only Sparta, only Plzeň got enough money to take care of that field. But when I saw English Premier League, all the fields are perfect for the football. So if Slavia players say that fields are bad and that's why we lost points, I wanna see on the English fields they play much, much better. And if they lose, they're shame on them.
Yeah, let's see, because sorry, you're saying.
It's just really sad that we don't see any fans on that stadium again. It's especially in England, because I know that English fans are one of the best in the world, and it's just really shame. Just like in Prague, we don't really saw them. It's just a shame.
We saw 600, didn't we, at the game? And is that been there for a while? Because I've not been following Prague, and especially with the fan situation, because in England, I think they announced just recently that they might have some people back in May time. So it's going to be a very big difference. However, getting people back will be massive for the football. However, because again, the crowd obviously wasn't in our favor, but it was the first time Leicester City have experienced a crowd since May of last year. So it's the first time that we've had a crowd. We've actually played with the crowd. And again, it was 600 people, but it was nice to hear people again, just like back in the stadium from our perspective, even if they weren't even playing for supporting us.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really sad, because I was like, wow, I want to see Fox's fan on that stadium, because I know that especially in England, fans can do much work. They can motivate them when they speak, when they shout Leicester's name, they motivate players. They just go better and better because of these fans. And now they won't be there. So it's just sad. And like I said, on this second match, I really can't say who's gonna win this, because, like I said, Leicester is first home, then away. But in last match, they defeat Liverpool, and Slavia is again worse in away stadium than home stadium. But against it was on the field, especially. So it's gonna be really hard to predict that final score. But I think that if I may say it, I think Foxes may have more chances to go in the next phase, because they play on their stadium. Even without some of their players, I still think they are better than Slavia players.
Yeah.
And if they get motivated right and with I don't know again how to say it. If they get right motivated by the coach, I think they get really high chance to win that match.
Yeah, because I think the plan was, I don't know about, I think you were saying, to get the 0-0, hence the reason why we took Jamie Vardy off at 60 minutes ago. Look, we've tried to score, you haven't scored, take him off, and then we can relax now. Iheanacho will not be available for the game because he has a 1-match suspension.
Yeah, I know that. They asked our commentators, I also mentioned one special thing, that like English playing programs are really killing. Like matches are one after one, and there are not much time for rest.
Yeah,
that's something what you can see in our league, because there are always at least 4 or 5 days to rest, and in English league there are not really much time for the rest of the players. It's also a shame, because these players are getting more injured, they are tired, they are not that in the best form, and it's just shame that something like this happen, and it could be really see on that field, right? Because
Yeah.
you play yesterday against Aston Villa.
Yep. On
Yeah,
Sunday, yeah, we played against Aston Villa on Sunday, and then we got to turn it round and immediately then Thursday, fly over to you on Thursday, then fly back, play away at Villa, which not too far, and then so the home game will be welcomed. And I think we've got a home game on Thursday, then a home game on Sunday as well. So this has been constant for about 3 months now. 2 games a week, ever since Europa League, Premier League, it's all been. I can't remember a time where we had less than 2 games a week, because it's, again, that's why a lot of the reason why a lot of players have got injured as well.
yeah. It's just I don't really think that people who I don't know who's up on the Premier League on the who just uh, sorry. I just don't really think that people in England like on the high post looking at it right, because just like said, more matches, more injured players, and game also it's not that good in some games, and it's just sad because especially in Champions League, European League, you must be in the best form, you must be the best team, and you really Leicester side now is the right example for it. Like, how many players you have injured right now? Six,
Um,
7?
Maybe more, yeah. So Justin at the back, Fofana at the back. Then we've got 2 players back, which is good. Perez, Madison, Pratt. So them three are central attacking midfielders. So we're gonna have to see what happens there. Tielemans has played every single game pretty much for us and is a main player of our team. Like Ndidi has been out for 2 months. So Soyuncu was out for 2 months. Castagna was out for 2 months. Again, a lot of Jamie Vardy was out for a month as well. So a lot of these
It's
players
just
have had
crazy.
to fight through. So we're hoping that this is the end of it. And obviously, James Justin, another 9-month injury. It's a big injury for
That's
us.
and he's like 22 years old. Like that's you know he's just a young boy and he's in best form and he could really show himself in the world in a good better teams. And now he's 9 months out. It's just and even if he's get on the field again, that like will not be 100% again. It's
No.
just really sad. It's really sad. Even in Slavia team, there is David Hovorka who is also on 9 months out, and he was already twice on operation with that same leg, and they saying like there's only 50% chance he's getting back on the field. It's just injuries like this. I really sad, especially on young players. But I can really help myself that if Leicester play in the best like best players on the field, they would defeat Slavia without question. That's what I think. And
Yes.
it's really sad we don't see these players on the second match because this is a really important match for Leicester. They show it when in the first match and when they get the best players on the fields what they could get in that situation. And now again you don't see some of these players because they're injured. And if Leicester will lose that match, that it will show how these players who are out are missing,
Mm-hmm.
especially on matches like this. And it's really sad because I know that Leicester's going for Champions League. They still get chance for title, and these players could get really missing in the final matches when there will be I don't know how to say it, uh, but I try to say it easy. You play for title. You got
Mm-hmm.
really big chance to play Champions League, and now you're out. You are like out of 7 or 6 players from from the field, and it could really be seen in the end of the Premier League,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the last matches, because I know that in the Premier League they're playing until last match for Premier League, for Champions League, for European League, and it could really be seen.
It may be. I don't know if we can win. Again, Manchester City are doing real amazing work at the moment. But if,
Yeah.
again, our tactics is probably to get top 4 this season, and that would be fantastic to get Champions League. But finally, just before we go, yeah, A, thank you for coming on once again and giving your preview. And B,
Yeah.
what can we know what to expect of Slavia? Are we expecting now for them to upgrade and go, right, you have to come win this game. Let's go and play them now.
Yeah, exactly. I think in Slavia is now in position they our home league they just on second line right now because they're more focusing on Premier League, European League.
Mm-hmm.
They are more focused on it because in last match against Teplice, 7 of players from 11 who's always playing were out, resting, or they were a little injured. And now they will be in England against Leicester because Slavia really saw European League like a big prestige. Like we can show ourselves to the world, our players to the world, and they see it. So I think this match will be much better than first match. But if I can say how it's gonna end, it's impossible. But probably 2-1 for Leicester. Leicester's gonna win 2-1.
That'll be interesting. Hopefully so. I think I'd love Vardy to get the equaliser. I mean, he's not scored
Exactly.
too many goals of recent, but this would be a perfect opportunity to. But once again, David, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you. And again, best of luck for the Prague game. You've been awesome. And again, we've loved having you on the program. So thank you once again.
Yeah. Thanks for invitation. And again, best of luck. When they play it.
Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. So best of luck, and I wanna see really good football, better than in first match.
I think we both do, mate. So yeah, thank everybody for watching and subscribing and all that good stuff. And we'll see everybody in the next video. Goodbye.